Sebelumnya perkenalkan, nama saya Teni. Saya bagian dari Alif Foundation. Kelas ini tidak akan terselenggara dengan tidak adanya kerjasama antara Universitas Al-Azhar Indonesia dengan Alibaba, Cloud tentunya, dan juga dengan Alif Foundation. Boleh tepuk tangan dulu? Oke, baik. PPT-nya boleh ditampilin? Oke, baik, sambil menunggu PowerPoint yang ditampilkan, mungkin aku akan sedikit menjelaskan mengenai Alif Foundation ini. Mungkin teman-teman di sini ada yang udah tahu Alif Foundation? Belum? Oke. Atau berarti belum ada yang tahu nih kalau misalkan Alif Foundation itu apa sih gitu ya. Baik, mungkin aku kasih tahu, Alif itu berarti alumni Informatika. Nah, kita adalah sebuah organisasi yang bergerak di bidang kependidikan. Boleh di next? Nah, di sini bisa dibaca ya teman-teman, Alif Foundation, Yayasan Ukhuwah Alif Indonesia, atau dengan nama Alif adalah organisasi sosial yang fokusnya yang tadi saya bilang bidang pendidikan. Didirikan pada tahun 2012, terus kita punya visi yaitu untuk membantu meningkatkan kesejahteraan masyarakat melalui teknologi dan pendidikan tentunya. Boleh di next? Nah, untuk Alif sendiri itu kita punya bagannya teman-teman. Pembinanya tentunya Ketua Program Studi Informatika sendiri, yaitu Pak Denny. Terus anggotanya siapa aja di sini bisa dilihat ya teman-teman, itu kebanyakan adalah dosen-dosen informatika. Dan tentunya dosen-dosen ini juga alumni Universitas Al-Azhar Indonesia loh. Bisa dilihat di sini Kak, ada Kak Ilona, ada Pak Digit, dan masih banyak lagi nih, ada sekretaris kita juga gitu. Boleh di next? Nah, kita itu emang kerjanya ngapain sih di Alif Foundation itu? Kita itu udah ada 4, yaitu ada beasiswa pendidikan, ada yang namanya beasiswa Alif teman-teman. Kebetulan teman saya sendiri 4 tahun yang lalu itu mendapatkan beasiswa Alif Foundation sendiri untuk kuliah di Universitas Al-Azhar Indonesia dengan beasiswa full 100%. Terus kita juga punya pelatihan dan sertifikasi, terus bantuan sosial pendidikan dan konsultasi dan penelitian tentunya. Boleh di next? Oke. Jadi sebenarnya banyak, kita udah melahirkan banyak banget beasiswa nih teman-teman, kayak dari tahun 2018, 2020 tadi teman aku. Kalau kalian kenal Kak Nuti, itu adalah ya Pak ya, dia salah satu penerima beasiswa Alif. Terus 2022 mungkin kalian kalau kenal Kak Pancaran, itu salah satu penerima. 24 juga ada nih, belum ditulis. Ada di sini beasiswa Alif penerimanya? Oh mungkin nggak masuk kali ya, oke. Terus selanjutnya kita itu kegiatannya ada pelatihan program mobile, terus juga kita biasa menjadi pemateri. Terus kita juga memberikan buku IT ke lab informatika. Terus kita punya pelatihan dan kita juga punya aplikasi. Kita mengembangkan aplikasi yaitu namanya Meet UI. Bisa kalian download di App Store ataupun di Play Store. Terus kita juga mengembangkan sistem MBKM UI. Serta kita juga ada yang namanya sponsorship. Jadi kalau teman-teman butuh sponsor, coba diajuin aja. Barangkali tembus tuh. Terus kita juga pastinya konsultasi IT juga bisa. Boleh di next? Jadi gitu ya teman-teman. Ini kebetulan sponsor kegiatan Glowing UI 2022 itu tahun saya. Jadi saya dapat sponsor dari Alif kebetulan. Jadi meringankan beban kita lah ya. Nah ini salah satu penerima beasiswa kita, yaitu Kak Pancaran. Ini dokumentasinya. Boleh di next? Nah ini dokumentasinya pada saat kita MOU PKS gitu ya. Next. Oke, ini PKS-nya kerjasama antara Universitas Al-Azhar Indonesia dengan Alif Foundation. Boleh di next? Oke, jadi ini teman-teman website yang saya bilang tadi, kita mau mengembangkan website yang namanya Meet UI gitu. Jadi mungkin itu aja yang bisa aku sampaikan mengenai Alif Foundation ini. Ini ya teman-teman ya. Apa sih brosurnya mungkin kalau kalian pengen tahu lebih dalam lagi, lebih lanjut lagi mengenai Alif, ataupun teman-teman nanti ketika sudah menjadi alumni dan ingin berkontribusi bersama kita membangun UAI yang lebih unggul pastinya, ayo follow di Instagram Ali Foundation atau di LinkedIn kita juga, nanti kita akan bersinergi bersama gitu ya. Baik, mungkin itu aja, kurang lebihnya mohon maaf. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Dan saya pamit undur diri ya.
Thank you very much for Kateni for your inspiring speech words. Okay, now we move to our main agendas. Seminar presentation, public lecture on Alibaba Cloud Artificial Intelligence Innovation for Education by Dr. Paponyom Pisanpop, Senior Training Advisor Manager at Alibaba Cloud. The stage is here. After the presentation, there will be an interactive Q&A session. Please feel free to raise your hand if you have questions. Thank you.
All right. Can you guys hear me? Yeah, from the back. Thank you for a very professional introduction. Thank you so much. All right, so basically I'll be here for 2 hours with you guys for today on behalf of Alibaba Cloud teams, academy teams. I also have Mr. Bayu with me to help, you guys with this session also. Today, what are we going to talk about is one of our very phenomenon services from Alibaba Cloud, which is called Model Studio. We are also having a hands-on. I hope you guys having your own laptops, right? If you want to follow along, right, you can try our AI capabilities and services in Alibaba Cloud also, right? If you don't have that, that's fine. You can work with your friend in the session, or you can take it back home and do it at home later on, okay? All right. So by the way, my name is Papon. I lead the trainer team from Alibaba Cloud Academy team. I've been with Alibaba Cloud for a couple of years already. And before that, I used to work with Amazon Web Services, AWS. You guys probably have heard about that also. So I think in terms of the cloud technology, based on the market share here in Indonesia, I used to work with, one, and I'm working with another one that, has the biggest market share here in Indonesia also, right? So if you have any question related to cloud technology, let me know, right, during the session also and after the session, all right? So like I said, what I want to talk about today is about the Model Studio. Basically, the agenda is the first one, oops. Okay. Four things that I want to talk about today. The first one is about Model Studio itself, right? I want to talk about, what is Model Studio. You guys probably, this is your first time hearing about Model Studio, right? We can explore that a little bit, right? Through the interfaces and hyperparameters, and also how to interact with the Model Studio, right? The question is, has anybody here using any AI products before? It doesn't have to be Alibaba Cloud, it can be something else. Anybody? Yeah? ChatGPT, how do you use it? Okay, good answer. I thought you were gonna say like, I'm using it to doing my exam. You can do that also, right? Yeah. Any other products? Really? Only one person has been using the AI product nowadays? Gemini in your phone, right? Yeah. Something else that's not related to the large language model. Not Gemini, not ChatGPT, not Claude. What is that? Can you tell your friend? How to use it? But how do you use it? Okay, that's great. Yeah, so nowadays, all the ad set that you can create, starting from text, video, sound, and a bunch of, ad set that you can create it. Nowadays, you can use AI to generate that, or we can call that generative AI services, right? Today, we're going to talk about that also, right? And then the third part that I want to talk about is I have 2 workshops for you guys. Hopefully you can, finish it during this session. These 2 workshops are going to build your foundation for you to be able to interact with large language models that are available for you to use it as the model as a service, which means that you don't really have to train your own models. You don't really have to download the models and host the model by yourself and doing the inferencing. Basically, everything is already there. You just have to connect to it using, the console or using the API from your application that you have in your mind. And you just want to leverage, the capability of large language model or the chatbot or whatever models that we have. And then you'll be able to, increase capability of your application by integrating the AI solution and capability into your project or your application. So this is something that we are going to do during our workshop, right? I can tell you a little bit more about that. So basically, the first workshop, we are going to write a little bit of the code to connect to the AI large language models for you to be able to submit your prompt and then get the result back, right? So that is going to be the first workshop. The second workshop is I'm going to ask you to build a chatbot based on Telegram. I'm pretty sure that you know what Telegram is, right? And then you're going to build your own server. You're going to connect your Telegram to your server, receiving the message from Telegram, from your user, to the server, and then the server will pass it to the chatbot, to the model, to the large language model. And then it will be able to return the message back to your server, and then your server will be able to call back your Telegram chatbot. The reason why I want you to do that second workshop is this is going to build the foundation how you can integrate your external application to the AI world, right, through the API, okay? And the last part is about model selection. From now on, you'll be able to see a lot of models, AI models, especially for the large language models or omni models or virtual language models. And then you probably have the question is, how do I choose which models should I use, right? So that is something that we are going to talk about at the end of the session. Just, for you to be able to understand that, okay, before I choose whatever models, these are all the criteria that I have to think about before I choose the models. It's not that serious if you choose the wrong models at the very beginning, because nowadays it's very flexible enough for you to switch back and forth between different models. But it's going to cost you sometimes an effort and also the money if you choose the models that is not suitable for your requirement, right? Think about you're buying a supercar, right? Just to go from your dormitory, which is 2 kilometers away from your university. You're driving supercar every day. The question is, can you do that? Yes, of course, right? You can still driving a supercar from your dorm to the university. But think about the cost and effort and all the things that you have to pay, right? You're going to pay more gas compared to your friends. You have to invest a lot of money to your supercar. But what you get back is the performance, right? But do you really need that performance to come to school? Maybe not, right? Same thing when you choose like a very big models with a higher performance, but you are only using it for your classroom, like 10 people are using that. You don't need that big model like that, right? So we're going to talk about that at the last part, okay? All right, so the question is, what is Model Studio? Who here have heard about Model Studio before? No? I'm not surprised because it's quite a new service. I think we just launched it last year, right? I'm gonna come back and ask this question again later on, and I hope everybody raise your hand that, okay, now I understand what is Model Studio, all right? Okay, so let's take a look at Model Studio first. But before that, this is something that very important that I wanna show you before we jump into the Model Studio. Nowadays, if you think about, all the CSP, so CSP is, who know what CSP is? Anybody know what CSP is, stand for? That's CSV. I'm talking about CSP. That was a CSV file, right? Yeah. CSP in the cloud world. What is CSP? You'll hear that a lot in the future. So CSP stands for Cloud Service Providers, right? So when we talk about CSP, we refer to, for example, like Alibaba Cloud, right? Microsoft, which is Azure, right? GCP, and many, many more, IBM's, Oracle, right? So CSP is Cloud Service Provider. The question is, right now, most of the CSP are doing, AI projects, right? So for example, GCP, they have their, investment in Claude. They have their own Gemini, for Amazon. What large language Amazon has? Anybody knows? Anybody has an idea? What about Microsoft? What large language model that Microsoft has? Sorry? What is it? Meta has Llama, right? Meta developed Llama, right? That's a good answer. But I didn't ask that yet. Sorry, just kidding. Microsoft bought OpenAI, right? Yeah, the Copilot and also the ChatGPT, right? Amazon, they don't have any large language model of itself, but they invested in Claude, I believe so, right? Together with Google also, right? But the thing that differentiates Alibaba Cloud from other CSV is, if you take a look at this picture, we are doing AI projects starting from very low level up until the highest level, which means that we are building our own ecosystem, starting from providing infrastructure for AI engineer to develop an AI. We also provide GPU, hardware, servers, and then in the middle part, we are also providing what we call as a platform for AI engineer to, start building, training the models, building the, environment to support the AI projects, right? So this is something that we have also, right? We also provide them with a lot of database options. For example, we have the vector database, right? Allow them to be able to build the rack inside the database, right? For them to be able to, use that information to let the large language model to learn from, to be able to answer the question more relevant to the context, right? We also have what we call is a model studio. This is something that we are going to focus today, right? And then on the top part is, these are the software as a service layer, which mean that, for example, if you want to, doing auto coding, right? Or the Copilot for coding, you can just grab this solution, integrate it into your IDE, and then you're good to go, right? You don't really have to develop any solution of that by yourself, right? And then you go for pay as you go, right? So that is something that we have, and we are different from other CSP, which means that we have everything from the very low layers up to the highest layer in terms of the AI and ecosystem, right? All right, so now let's talk about the Model Studio before I show you how to use it, right? So for the Model Studio, basically it is, we call that MaaS, which is Model as a Service, or the Platform as a Service. We can also that also, because basically we provide a platform that hosting large language models, different version, different types of the models inside that platform for you to be able to integrate to the models and then leverage its capability and capacity to be able to use it to your application. So it built on top of state-of-the-art models, which mean that if you take a look at the animation here, you'll be able to see a lot of models, updated models, recently models in here for you to be able to use it right away, right? Easy to access, right? So that is another core capability of Model Studio, which means that it provides, you know, a console for you to integrate or to play around with the Model Studio. You can select different models, and it allows you to be able to connect to the Model Studio using the API, right? The last part is about the, you know, scalability. So basically, when you integrate your application with Model Studio, it scales automatically, which means that, for example, you're building your own chatbot, you only have 10 people using your chatbot. You don't really have to worry about the capacity behind the scene because, you know, the models is going to support those 10 people perfectly fine. But once you have more users, starting from 100,000, 10,000, 100,000, normally if you are managing your own infrastructure, you have to come back and take care of the scaling by yourself, right? Increasing the server, you know, or upgrade the performance of your servers, right? So there'll be some of that kind of job that you have to take care of by yourself. But for the Model Studio, as it is a platform as a service, it handles the scalability by itself, right? Which means that no matter you have how many customers you know, hitting your application, it's going to scale to support that. Or if you have less customer in some low season, it will also shrink it down, right? And support your actual traffic at that time, right? Okay, before we jump into the console, right now for the Model Studio, we offer 1 million token for free for every models, right? So basically, if you are using, you know, the Model Studio, you don't really have to pay for anything. It's free. So 1 million token is, it's like you are typing the text for getting the result, and if you counting the wording in English, is about the size of the Bible books, right? So that thick, right? So which means that you can play around and try, you know, a lot of stuff that you have in your mind, right? So if you sign up for Alibaba Cloud account right now, you can get this for free. And it's not just for one models. If you take a look at inside the Model Studio, we have a bunch of models. And 1 million token is, you know, tied into each model. It's not, you know, the overall consumption for all the models, right? So you can switch back and forth between different models also, right? If you have time, you can go to alibabacloud.com. You can sign up for that because in the workshop we are going to use that, right? You can play around with your own environment. It's free. Don't worry about that, right? Okay. Now let's jump into the interface, right? Let me sign in my test account. All right, so once you have an account, you can start sign up now if you want, right? If you want to do the hands-on. So once you have an account, you can click on the console, right? Has anybody here used cloud console before? Like Alibaba Cloud, Amazon, GCP, Microsoft? No, not yet? Not at all? Okay. So this is going to be a first, opportunity for you guys, right? The reason why are you guys from IT department or computer science related or computer engineering? Yeah? Yeah? Are you guys from which year? Freshman, sophomore, second year, third year, fourth year? Or mixed? Mixed? Who's the first year student? Who's second year? Oh, a lot. Third year? 2? Fourth year? 1? Fifth year? Hopefully not. Oh! Fifth year? But you guys are from the same faculty, right? Engineering. Computer engineering or science?
Science and technology.
Science and technology. I'm surprised you haven't used any cloud services before. Or, no, not yet? Or too shy to say? Too shy to say, probably, yeah. Okay, all right, so yeah, go ahead, sign up. Everything is free for today. If you want to follow, right, I encourage you guys to follow, because you might get a pretty good idea to doing your project from this workshop also, right? All right, so once you're in the console, you can go to the Model Studio. Alibaba Cloud has, I think, 200 plus services in our environment, starting from, infrastructure as a service up to software as a service, right? So you can, trying to leverage these services in your project also in the future, right? It's going to save you a lot of time and effort to start everything from scratch, right? Okay, now I'm in Model Studio console, right? The first tab that I want to show you is called Playground. So let me hide all this first, right? Just not too scary for you guys, right? So if you take a look at our Playground console, it's pretty similar to, the others AI chatbot interface, right? For example, if you're familiar with Gemini or ChatGPT, right? But the cool thing about this one is, of course, you can start chatting with the chatbot, right? Let's try that. Nowadays, we have the language model that has what we call is reasoning models. So anybody know what reasoning models is? Yeah? Okay. So they think first, think about the question that you ask, and then once they think, what they do after. Yeah, they take what they have thought about the question and take that as an input also, and then generating the answer based on what they, what they had a thought, right? I think I'm gonna give, we have a gift, right? Yeah, I think I'm gonna give you a gift because you answered me a lot of questions already. Oh, we only have 3. I'll just take one first. Yeah. Can you come and get it? You know what? You guys want to guess what's inside? Homework. I'm just kidding. No, it's don't tell your friends yet. Okay. Yeah. Oh. Okay, sure. Yeah. your name? Okay, Fami. Okay, all right. So if you answer my question, we still have two more gifts, right? Okay, so let's take a look at the console. So basically, you can start interacting with the large language model from Model Studio directly from the playground, just like you're familiar with Open AI, ChatGPT, stuff like that. But the cool thing about that is some reasoning model you can kind of switch on and off about the deep think. Basically, if you switch it on, it will try to think like human first, and then it will take the thought as an input and start generating the answer, right? But if you switch it off, it will just start predicting the next word based on the popularity only, right? All right. What I want to show you is on the left-hand side. These are all the models that you can, select to use right away, right? So basically, Alibaba Cloud has our own models called Quen, or Q1 or Shen1 in Chinese, right? You can search on that. The performance of the Shen1 is really good in the benchmark right now, especially for multiple language capabilities, right? I think in Japanese, in Bahasa, this is one of the top large language model that can, talk to you based on Southeast Asia languages, right? So you can select the models here. I'll talk about that later on, how you can select the model, which model you should use, right? Or what you can do is, for example, you can go for the virtual models, right? And you can try to upload the pictures. I don't know, maybe this one. Let's see, what is this picture? Okay. This is my colleagues with my son. So I'm gonna ask explain. Oops, it's okay. Don't worry about my English. So this is my son. This is my friend, my colleague. His name is Eric. That's Kitty. That's Jasmine. So as you can see that, you can easily use the large language model to describe, this picture. Let me zoom in a little bit. I want to. If it's good enough for you to understand the picture, right? So this is something that you can do in the playground, right? And there are several models for you to play around, right? Feel free to play with that. Big size models, smarter models, visual models, omni models. You can upload the sound, speech, and then convert it to the text and stuff like that, right? So this is your playground. Another cool option is you can, so let's go back to the Quen models. What you can do is you can compare the models, right? So for example, so you can kind of compare the result between different models, right from the playground. So I asked the models that help me plan a trip to Jakarta. I have 1,000 USD budget, and answer me in Bahasa, right? And you can kind of compare the result between the Quen Max and the Quen 2.5. The Quen Max is the latest version of the large language models, and then the Quen 255 72Bs. As you can see that the trade-off is maybe this one has a richer answer, but this one is faster in terms of the latency because the model is smaller, right? So we're gonna talk about the model selection later on, but you can kind of compare the result right away from the playground, right? So this is one thing that I wanna show you, right? Is it good enough for the answer? Probably, yeah, right? Another thing that I wanna show you is, any question? Or anything you want me to show you? Yeah? Any question? No? Okay, all right. If there's no question, I'll go further, right? So this is something that you can, do also. And something else that I want to talk about is if you click on the model configuration, this is where you can, tune your models. So basically, large language model is very flexible enough for you to tune it, right? The first thing that I want to talk about is, the top the top P. We'll come back to the dashboard in some other tabs. So if you understand how GPT work, right? Basically, it predicts the next word from, the context and from the metrics that they have in the models. You can also adjust the probability rate or, what we call is the top percentage of the answers of the next word to be more focused on, top, for example, like this is gonna be, if we adjust it like this, it's gonna say like top 10% of the possibility of the next word, just limit to that top 10%. Other than that, we're not gonna use it as a result, right? The reason why we want to do that is because if we adjust the top P closer to 1, you will get the result that more focused, more relevant to the question, no fancy stuff, right? It's good for, the application, like if you are using large language model for scientific research or copywriting or something that you really need a precise result, right? This is something that you can do, right? Another one is for the temperature, right? So basically for the temperature, you can balance between creativity versus predictability, right? So you can adjust the temperature 0 to 2. If you have, a higher number for the temperature, which means that you're gonna get more creativities in terms of the result because it looks for more variety of the result for your answers, right? So this is probably good at, for example, like novel writing, copywriting, you are doing like writing your email messages, essay and stuff like that. You need more creativities, right? This is something that you can adjust also. You can also put, stop words, like, okay, these are the forbidden words that large language models shouldn't return back to the, as an answers, right? So you can kind of customize that, right? We'll come back to the thinking budget again, but what I want to show you is here you have something called system, right? So basically you can configure your models to do whatever you want, just like, like a role play, right? Before that, when you want to configure something, right? Think about when you want to configure your application or your physical devices, you really have to follow the patterns or the syntax or the procedures, right? For example, if I ask you to adjust the brightness of your phone, how do you do that? If I want you to adjust the brightness of your phone, how are you going to do that? Have you ever adjusted the brightness of your phone before? No? Yeah? How do you do that? Use the button? Yeah, normally it's set to automatically, right? But if you want to increase or decrease it, how do you do that? You go to the interface, right? Go to the setting, or maybe the quick shortcut, and then slice it up and down. Has you ever talked to your phone and adjust the brightness? Why not? Can you talk to your phone like, reduce the brightness for me, please? Have you ever tried that? You think it works? I don't know. I never try. Yeah? Yeah. So before that, when you want to adjust your models to do whatever you want, it's not easy. It's like you have to go inside the models, fine-tune the model, adjust it. But nowadays, let me show you, right? Nowadays, if you want to adjust the models, you can just talk to it. Let me show you that. So this is the models called Quen Max. You can use whatever models, right? Now, these models, you haven't adjusted anything, right? So it act as a standard set of the model that has been preset before. So for example, if I ask these models, right, what is your name? So if you take a look at the answer, this is a general answer, right? So it's going to say, my name is Quen. How can I assist you, right? I'm a large language model. So how can I assist you? Now, I'm going to talk to my models that you're not Quen anymore. Your name is Papaya. Let's say that, right? Your name is Papaya. Okay. And then I'm going to ask the same question again. Sorry, I should have brought my mouse with me. You think he will understand? Now, if you ask, the model is, what is your name, right? Now your model will say, my name is Papaya. I'm a large language model. How can I assist you today, right? Let's do something more fancier, right? I'm going to say that Papaya only answer your answer should only related to Indonesia, right? All right. Now let's ask. Let's do this. Help me plan a trip to UK for 3 days. Now, if you take a look at the answer, right? Oh, it's still, remember that it has to answer in Bahasa, right? I cannot read that. Can anybody explain what is the answer? What is it? Oh, yeah. That's what we're expecting, right? Because we tell our model that just, give the answer about Indonesia. If you're asking something else, don't answer, right? So this is how you can easily configure your models nowadays. Just like you are talking to your friends, playing like a role play. Like you are talking to your teacher talking to you like, okay, act as a policeman, right? And then now you're a policeman, right? You don't really have to, following the complex procedure anymore, right? Now, let's do one more thing, right? So I'm gonna say only related to Indonesia and UK, just that. And then same question again. Should be able to start planning a trip for UK already, right? This is how fast you can, interact with the large language model nowadays, right? Pretty amazing, right? Oh, I don't know. Was that it? Yeah, by the way, anyways, maybe ask again. Now it start, planning a trip for me for UK. Because I say that your name is Papaya, your answer should only relate it to Indonesia and the UK, right? Or you can just simply say, like, be polite. And then, what are the bad words in Bahasa? So you can use it as a filter. It's supposed not to say any bad words out of the models. I believe so. I don't know, I cannot read that. Is it? Yeah. Yeah, so this is how easily you can configure the models nowadays, right? All right. Any question? Anything you want to see? Any
What difference? ChatGPT can generate any words with same case.
Yeah.
What's the difference?
That's a good question. A lot of people will ask, nowadays we have a lot of, large language models, but what are the difference between, ChatGPT, Quen, Gemini, and also some other language models? Actually, there are a couple of things that are different. The first one I can tell you, but I'm not going to go into the detail now. I'll talk about that in the model selection. The resource of the knowledge that the model learned from is different. So for example, ChatGPT probably learned from, the public data. Alibaba Cloud models also learn from the public data. Something that ChatGPT won't be able to access from the China mainland also, and some e-commerce data from our eco platform also. So that's why Quen is really good at supporting customer in e-commerce business. Also, a lot of the Chinese brand are using Quen to integrate it with a call center chatbot to be able to support this kind of thing. A lot of things to talk about what are the difference, but the first thing that that is a very big different from each other is the resources that it learns from. Other than that is a technique from the models. For example, like we have, GPT, we have something else for the models to learn and to, to act as a model to be able to predict the result, right? I want to show you a little bit. Actually, I have some document. Hold on. Yeah, later on we can come back and talk about this. For example, like what are the difference between Quen, the GPT, BERT, right? For example, there are many things that different, right? For example, if you take a look at the models type, Quen is a decoder only, same thing with the ChatGPT, but for the bird is an encoder only, which means that it cannot do something like Quen does, but it good at doing like text analysis, like sediment analysis, stuff like that, right? It's a different purpose. If you take a look at the use cases, Quen and ChatGPT are good at generation, chat, and code. Quen is good at multi-models also, but for the bird is used for language understanding, not the generation. So as you can, if we go deep down into this document, this is the document that I created by myself though. You'll be able to see what are the differences between each type of the language models, right? For example, like cost, access, reasoning logic, code writing ability, multilingual support, and also the resources of the data that it learns from, right? Any other question? Yeah, no? Okay, all right. Another thing that I want to talk about is about the thinking budget, right? So basically, every time when you are using the language models, everything converted to the tokens, right? So the reason why we have to convert everything into token because it's a unit of how you can measure the consumption of the large language models that you are using, right? So for example, one token probably equals to, almost 2 words in English, right? Oh no, less than that. Let me show you this document. Yeah, so in English, 1 word is equal to 0.75 tokens, right? Roughly around that. So think about you get, 1 million token for free for each models, which means that you're gonna get, around over 100 English words as an input and output from that models. That's how much you can use that model for free right now, right? So basically, another parameter that we can adjust for the model is called the thinking budget. So basically, you can kind of limit, for this particular question, how much budget you want to limit, and it's going to relate it to the how long the answer will be, and also if you are enable the deep think, it's going to limit that into how long the model should think, just to fit with the budget that you specified. This is the mechanism for you to protect people from, using too much of the models, right? So thinking about, you have 1 million tokens, everybody are using it, but one student, trying to put a whole book into the models and ask the model to summarize the whole book, which is at the end of the day, you're gonna lose all the token and you're gonna cost a lot of monies, and that kind of stuff is going to happen, right? So this is one of the parameters that you can adjust also, right? All right. Coming back to the console, a couple of things that I want to show you also is, this is a playground, right? Beside from the playground, you have the dashboard. So if you click on the dashboard, there are 2 things that you can do in the dashboard. The first one is you can upload the batch task for your model to process. So basically, you are having the list of the prompt, maybe 100, maybe 1,000. You want to submit into the models at the same time and then wait for the model to process and get you the answer. You can also do that here, right? For example, in the situation like you are collecting the survey from let's say all the student in UAI, right? And you receive maybe 1,000 questions from all the students from this university. Are you going to submit the question one by one to the models? No, right? It's going to take a lot of time. So once you gather all the question, you put it into the format, upload it into the models, and just wait for the answer, and then you can distribute it out, right? So this is one of the features that we have, right? Another one is if you click on the model observation, here you can take a look, the statistic of the performance of the models that you are using right now in your model studio, right? So basically, for example, we just, if you still remember, we just upload one photo into the Quen VL Max models, right? So you can kind of monitor the performance out of that, right? So you can say, okay, this is the number of the calls to the models, the failure, we don't have any failure at all, right? The failure rate, no, right? So this is something that you can take a look, or you can, take a look at something else. For example, like the Quen Plus, this one, we call it more than 20 times, right? And there's no failure also, right? So this is another thing that you can take a look from the console, right? Another one, which is a very important one, and you have to use this during the workshop, is the documentation part, right? So basically, this, section is full of knowledge of how to use the Model Studio, right? And if you want to know what are the models that we have available in the Model Studio, if you click on the models, you'll be able to see all the list of the models that we have, right? And you can also take a look at the consumption. For example, like for the Quen VL Max, as you can see that this is the pricing for the models. It receives text and image and can process and generate the video. Oh, sorry, receive text, image, sound, and the video as an input, right? And for the output, it can generate text for you, right? Oh, except for the sound for the input for this one. And you can take a look at the pricing and the free quarter consumption remaining, right? All right. Okay, so this is all the interfaces that I want to show you. Now, the next step is about the workshop, right? So for the workshop, I want you guys to be able to make your first API call to the Quen models, right? You can do it together with your friends, right? If you don't have the computer, you can, work with your friends on this one. But I'm going to give you around 30 minutes for that, right? So what I want you to do is, first, you need to have an Alibaba Cloud account. Everything is free, don't worry, right? So you need to sign up for that. And then you can enable the Model Studio, activate the Model Studio, it's free, right? And then once you have the account, you access to the Model Studio. What you need to do next is you have to enable the API key for your Model Studio, and you write the piece of code. I would recommend you to use Python to interact with the Model Studio. Let me show you how it looks like, okay? So this is my Model Studio. All the instruction, you don't need to think about that by yourself. If you go to the Model Studio, click on the documentation right here, and go to the make your first API call. These are all the instructions that you want to follow, right? And the result that I want you to have is, for me, I'm doing that in my server in Alibaba Cloud account. You can do that locally, or you can use the Postman to shoot the API to the Model Studio. That's fine also. But for me, I'm gonna show you how it looks like, right? So if I connect to my servers, All right, now I'm in my servers. Actually, there's a files, the Python file that I wrote earlier, right? So if you take a look at the files called call first API, you'll be able to see the code. As you can see that I import all the packages that I need, right? And then I construct the message as a prompt. So I'm asking the model to help me say hi in Bahasa, right? And then I'm going to struct the message, call the API by using the generation modules from the Dash Scope API, sorry, the Dash Scope SDK, and then make a call, and then send the prompt to the models. I select model as a Quen Plus, and then I wait for the response, and then I show the response and print screen on the response in the console, right? So let's try to run that. All right, once I hit run, we should be able to see the result back from the Quen models. So this is what I printed out, right? So I call this function that I wrote earlier and asking how to say hi in Bahasa, right? Bahasa Indonesia. So this is the answer that I received it from my Model Studio Quen Plus models. Hello, hi, selamat, and I don't know what that is. The good afternoon, yeah. Pagi, yeah. Pagi, is it? Pagi? Okay. Hagi, okay. And selamat malam. Yeah. So this is what I want you guys to do, right? So sign up, enable your Model Studio, write a code, Python code, connect to the Model Studio. You should be able to interact with the Model Studio based on your source code, right? And later on, I'll ask you to do that in Telegram application, right? So the instruction is already there. If you go to Model Studio, documentation, and click on make your first API call, just follow that steps, and you'll be able to get that result. I'm going to give you guys 20 minutes. We'll check back again at 3:20. Would that be okay? All right, and whoever get it done, let me know. I'll go check the result, okay? All right, have fun. Any question for this one? Would you be able to do it? Should be, right?
Maybe any questions from you guys? Maybe how to make the models or some things?
Okay, all right. If you have any question later on, let me know, okay? All right. I'll check back again at 3:20, okay?
Semuanya pada bawa laptop? Kalau misalkan enggak, bisa work together sama temennya ya, yang ini. Dicoba. Ya, dicoba ya. Mana laptopnya? Gak bawa. Pakai HP bisa nggak ya? Atau yang nggak bawa laptop bisa langsung joinan sama teman-temannya ya. Nah ini kan ini 3 banget nih ya. Coba bisa joinan bareng-bareng. Bisa kesini aja ya Kak ya. Coba dilihat kanan kirinya yang nggak bawa, ajakin join dulu. Ayo join, no join ke belakang. Tuh, semuanya pada bawa laptop. Ada, kamu bawa? Jujurnya, I'm so interested this information. Yes, I'm from Arabic programs.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, it's gonna be tough for you.
Yeah. Yes. Oke, sebelah sini. How's going? Dicoba dong Kak, Anca dibuka. Oke. Bisa Dinda sama Nafi? Iya. Luar biasa. Ini apa? Inform 2 4. Apa? Kalian suruh bikin model. Jadi ikutin ininya nih. Buka apa namanya? Ya, Alibaba Cloud-nya. Terus ikutin aja tuh model apa namanya? Prom-promnya. Coba tunggu ya. Aku juga perlu make sure juga. Buka dulu aja. Dibuka dulu websitenya. Yang ungu ininya.
Coba ke Pak Bayu kan. YouTube sih.
YouTube.
Oh.
Yes.
So how are they going to follow the workshop?
Teman-teman ada kendala atau ada pertanyaan? Ada ya. Pertama buka dulu website Alibaba-nya. Udah register? Udah apa terus?
Ya, ada kendala apa?
Oh, oke, alright. Oh yes, please. Oke, kita tunggu dulu. Gimana Pak?
Sama Bayu harus tetap CC, dia nggak bisa $1 kita dibalikin.
Jadi dari
Jadi coba belum? Genius atau Bang Jago? Bang Jago.
Jadi gimana Bu solusinya? Atau solusinya satu apa?
Mas Arif lagi, Mas.
Iya, tunggu ya. Yang penting teman-teman udah register dulu aja buat ngebukanya. OTW, oke lah. Kenapa emang? Aku masuk situ. Stop. Ini perintahnya luar biasa. Masnya selalu. Iya.
How many teams do we have here? Like team in the back, team here. Are you guys a team? Or you guys are fighting right now? One team, two, ladies team. Are you all ladies that are working together?
With 4 laptop.
One team, two team,
Yes.
three.
4, 5, 6. Yes.
Are you guys familiar with Python, right? Okay, that's great. Okay. Basically, they already have the code for you. Just copy and paste, modify it a little bit, right?
Because the students they don't have like credit card like yes.
Let me
Okay. From step by step.
yeah, sure. If you
Teman-teman diperhatikan ya ini.
Okay, all right. So if you sign up for the account, this workshop should be free because you're gonna use at least one service called Model Studio. So Model Studio is already free. Another part is for your servers, right? The servers can be either on your own local servers, which there's nothing to do with Alibaba Cloud, or you can use the virtual server from Alibaba Cloud. There's an instance that is free. So if you search for Alibaba Cloud free tier, ECS, and click on that,
Free
Mm.
tiers.
you'll be able to see, once you sign up, right? These are all the free stuff, right? So you can click try now on the servers. So the server that I want you to use is this one. The ECST5 instance. So basically, it's a virtual server that I show you my demo, right? So you can just go there. Let me walk you through again. So search for Alibaba Cloud free
Alibaba
tier,
Cloud.
free tier ECS in Google, right?
Udah teman-teman. Satu-satu
Okay.
iniin satu-satu. Oke.
And then you should see the result called Alibaba Cloud free tier, cloud server free for 1 year.
Udah.
Okay, and then click on that. And then here you have core free tier products. The server that I show you that I use is called ECST5 instance, which is free for 1 year, right? And then you can click try now,
Oh,
and then you can start provisioning the server from the instruction, right?
Okay.
So if you are using this one, everything is going to be free.
Oke, thank you very
All
much,
right,
sir.
thank you.
Teman-teman paham? Nih, yang tunggu, yang tier free-nya. Start for free ini kayaknya, ya nggak sih? Nah, terus. Nah, oke. Oke, udah dapat? Nah, oke. Tetap ikutin aja deh kayaknya. Udah registrasi sebenarnya. Oh ya udah, berarti tinggal verifikasi aja. Bisa? Teman-teman yang di sini bisa? Ketemu nggak? Nggak ketemu, coba buka. Oke. Yang try for free. Nah, start for free ini. Oke. Di sebelah kiri. Jadi posisinya itu ada di sebelah kiri, teman-teman. Coba ke bawah. Kok gitu doang ya? Nah, terus ke bawah. Terus, nah, terus bawah. Bawah lagi. Nah, try now itu. Yang sana ya. Nah. Oke. Klik, bisa. Itu ya. Iya sayangku. Bentar. Harusnya sih ulang ya. Coba bentar ya, kita ulang ya. Alibaba tier free. Emang warnanya ini ya? dicoba dulu ya. Oke ya Pak. Tetap deh kayaknya Pak. Udah. Oke, after that. Iya kayaknya tetap harus bayar ya teman-teman. Jadi itu tuh sebenarnya kayak deposit gitu loh. Jadi teman-teman bayar tapi nanti bakal tetap kembali lagi gitu. Bakal tetap dibalikin lagi. Itu cuma buat ngaktifin token aja gitu. Nah, bayar 16.000, $1 doang. Kayak sekali pemakaian ini doang gitu. Kenapa kalau kayak gini? Kawera ya? Oh. Gitu ya. Di situ payment methodnya ada apa aja? Bisa gak kayak GoPay gitu atau whatever, gak bisa ya? Oh iya gitu ya, PayPal. Bisa gak? Kenapa? Bisa ya? Iya sayang. Nah itu tuh yang bawah, yang sebelah kiri, bawah yang hitam try now. Yes. Oke, complete now, bisa? Apa? Login. Udah pernah. Join free. Nah, register dulu. Tadi sebelumnya udah register belum? Belum kan? Ya udah, dicoba dulu ya. Atau gimana, Pak? Bayarnya Pak Arif udah bisa. Iya. Oke.
Oh bisa ya? Apa maunya yang internasional?
Ini akan by PayPal.
Enggak, aku pakai bank card kan. Aku punya PayPal.
Gimana ya? Tapi ini udah bisa juga sih. 6170160 582815 udah benar. Ini cobanya kebalik kali. Harusnya itu benar ya. Kalau ininya 9 ya. Oh berarti bulan, emang bulan ini mah. Oh ini. Oh iya. Emailnya kali. Gak bisa. Bingung siapa. Udah. Oke, try now. Terus
Model free ya kan?
model, iya ya model. Hongi Kuen. Tunggu bentar ya.
What the next? After this step, so
Active.
where we go?
Did you enable create the API key?
Create API key.
Yeah, you have to enable the API key in your Model Studio because your application is going to use the API key to connect to the
We
Model
need to
Studio.
buy?
No. Everything is free.
Okay.
Everything. Coba. Go to
Yeah, and
set my API.
yeah, you can name it whatever you want. Yeah.
Oh, the
Yeah, just use the default workspace.
Masih belum bisa. nggak Kak? Ketemu nggak?
Ini tadi balik ke sini.
Free trial.
Free trial.
Yes. Iya. Tapi guide.
Tapi sekarang mau kan memang model studio.
Oh iya model studio sih benar.
Tapi tetap harus aktifin.
Iya dong, kayaknya kan harus ini nggak sih masuk supaya dia. Nah, udah ini. Iya udah. Ini bisa Pak? Bisa. Nanti kalau misalnya ini udah bisa, kok langsung itu free? Free. Kamu nggak payment apa itu? Nih temennya. Oh tapi belum activate.
Ini udah.
Oke, kakaknya udah. Coba deactivate. Udah. Udah dipencet belum activate-nya? Yang mana Kak? Coba dibantu. Belakang aman? Coba bentar. Oh tapi tetap payment. Apa joinan deh? Atau yang penting kalian di halaman itu aja dulu. Ya. Masih regress oke. Belakang aman? Coba. Gak apa-apa. Tadi itu kakaknya bisa tuh. Kosong. Udah next. Nah, ini
Has anybody finished? Yeah, one. Okay, great. Anybody else? One, just one. All right. Two. Great.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, two. I'll give you guys 10 more minutes until 3:30, and then we're gonna start a second workshop. Okay? All right, 10 more minutes.
Per kredit kartan ini. Tapi successfully.
Enggak. Ini buat nambahin ke kartu.
Bank card kali. Nah, gitu. Ngulang lagi ya?
Iya, ngulang lagi. Nah, dia udah makin impact.
Terus akhirnya inisiatif Kak. Lewat sini.
Pakai punya orang.
Iya, nggak bisa juga. Hasilnya sama tadi. Error juga.
Ya, mungkin emang sistemnya belum terkonfigurasi buat kayak seluruh ini.
PNP itu dia masuk ke ini. Iya. Ini kita AC-nya udah buat habis itu ini nah kalau ini kan harusnya langsung ke sini juga nggak apa-apa.
Jadi saya harus jelasin apa Pak? Teman-teman.
Finish? Anybody else finish? Not yet? Okay, that's good. We're gonna move on to the next workshop. I just want to introduce you what we are going to do, and you can continue because actually the workshop 1 and 2 are related together, right? If you can do the workshop 1, you can easily, do the workshop 2 also, right? Okay. Before that, let me share my screen. All right, so the second workshop is once we already built the foundation, how to call an API of Model Studio using, your programming languages. The next one is now we're going to build something a little more solid compared to the first workshop, right? So what we are going to do is we're going to build a Telegram chatbot which connect to Quen models in Model Studio. So basically, we're gonna have Telegram. Everybody know Telegram, right? Yeah. We're gonna have our own Telegram, which connect to our server, and that server help processing the messages together with the Model Studio. So basically, the message from your customer or from you will go from Telegram to your server. Your server will pass that message to the Model Studio and then wait for the result. Once the server has a result from Model Studio, it will pass it or it will call back to the Telegram chatbot, right? So let's try that. Let me start my server first. I just want you all to try that, right? I wrote a little program called Quen Telegram bot, right? So if you take a look at my code, it's pretty similar to what you are doing right now, call first API. But here you will have the integration of Telegram too, right? So basically you are receiving the message from the Telegram, and then you pass it back to the Model Studio, and then you wait for the result from Model Studio, and then you return it back to the Telegram, right? So I'm gonna start this server, and then I will ask you guys to scan the QR code of my chatbot, and you can start talking to my chatbot, okay? All right, so I've started my server. It's working fine. I just want you to scan this QR code if you have the Telegram. If not, you can download it, right? And once you scan this QR code, it will redirect you to my chatbot, which connect to my server, which my server connect to the Model Studio, my Model Studio, right? And then you can start talking to my chatbot from your Telegram, right? You can take a picture of that. Once you scan that, I'm gonna open my server like this. Basically, I'm printing all the messages from you guys. If you type anything, you'll be able to see that here, right? And then you'll be able to see the result also. So somebody asking, who am I? I don't know who that is, right? And then you'll be able to probably see the result back to your Telegram, right? So far, I only see, who am I? Waiting for another prompt. Are you Indonesian or Chinese? I don't have nationality, right? Yeah. Okay. So this is something that I want you guys to do by yourself. Let's see how we can do that, okay? So this is some picture that I've done with my chatbot. Later on, you can select multiple, not only just the text-to-text models, you can select some other models also, for example, like VL or multi models or omni models. This one, I built my chatbot and use it as an assistant to get the information from the picture, for example, like name card, or my wife sent me this. I want to know how can I buy that. So I just asked my chatbot, what is this, and how do I buy that, and what is the color of that. It start keeping explaining to me, right? So you can easily building your chatbot like that, right? And what you will need to do, there is no clear instruction for you, just like the first workshop. This workshop, you really have to think about yourself also, right? In terms of the code. So basically, what you need to do is you need to have a Telegram account, right? And then go to the bot father. This is a tool in the Telegram account that allow you to be able to create your own chatbot in the Telegram. So basically, it's going to ask you to set up the bot father, and then what you're going to receive is the bot token for your Telegram chatbot, right? You will need that in your code for your server to be able to interact with your Telegram chatbot, right? Other than that, it's pretty much the same, just like what you are, just like what you did in the first workshop, but you have to modify the code a little bit to be able to receive the message from the Telegram and to be able to return the message from the return the message back to the Telegram from the Model Studio, right? My hint is you don't really have to think about writing the code by yourself. You can talk to your Model Studio to help come up with a code to interact with Telegram and Model Studio and try to leverage that, okay? All right, I'm gonna give you guys until 4 p.m. to finish this, right? For those who finished 2 workshops, I still have 2 gifts for you, right? Let me know if you finished both workshops. You're gonna get the prize also. All right, have fun. So just give you a little tips on step 1. So if you have the Telegram, you open your Telegram, search for @botfather, right? And then send it to your Telegram, and then the botfather will give you the instruction how to set up the bot, right? You can choose the name for the bot, you can choose the username, and then you will receive the API token, right? And then you copy that token and use it to connect to the Telegram from your application, right? So that is the hint for step 1. Step 2, this is the same thing that you already did for the first workshop. So basically, you just have to grab the API key from the Model Studio. You can use the same one that you used for the first workshop. It's the same thing, right? It's fine. You don't really have to create a new one, right? Step 3, this is the additional stuff that you need to do more from workshop 1. So basically, you need to install the package, which is called Python Telegram Bot dash scope, right? So this is the package that allow your Python to be able to interact with the Telegram easily, right? And then step 4, start writing the code. Like I said, you don't really have to come up with the code by yourself. Nowadays, you don't need to do that. You can, using Copilot, you can use Qwen in your Model Studio to help you generate your code to connect to your Telegram application. You can just simply say that, help me write a Python code to connect to Telegram, right? And then another hint is in the documentation, refer to the Qwen API doc dash scope session. Sorry, I have a typo here. And in that section, you'll be able to find all the solution for this workshop, right? All right. So these are all the hints that I can give it to you. I'm gonna stop my server right now. I don't think nobody using it right now. Later on, you will use your own server. You are creating your own server, right? So while you guys are doing that, let me share you a couple of projects that we helping our customer to leverage the large language models, especially the Model Studio platform. The first one that related to the university is basically nowadays everybody are using their own chatbot, right? For example, like ChatGPT, Gemini. But the answer that you get from the ChatGPT and Gemini is a general information. It's not tied it to the university directly, right? So some university right now, they invest in this part by, creating their own chatbot. They can grab whatever, open source models, for example, like Llama or even Qwen, and host it, in the university or host it in their own cloud account. And then they build RAG on top. So basically RAG is like, you are feeding the models with your private information, private documentations related to your context. For example, like in the university, you have a lot of documentations related to the faculties, related to the university itself. Those documentation you can feed it into the models. And then what's so special about that is later on your model will be able to leverage those information and return the result related to your context more compared to your general chatbot, right? So nowadays, a lot of universities are building their own chatbot, and they can kind of control the usage of the staff, students, the people inside the university, and even outsider who need to have information from the university to have more accurate information of the university, right? So that is kind of project that they are doing. Another one that I can give you some of the idea is, this one is a very special project. It's related to the religion, right? This one happening in Thailand. So Thailand is a Buddhism country, right? So there's one monk. I think it's pretty similar to you guys also. There's one monk that really, really famous, but he passed away a long time ago. But people still follow his wordings, his teaching, right? I'm pretty sure that here you also have like one famous person who leading the religions and have good wordings and people trying to follow also, right? So this monk passed away, 20, 30 years ago. The professor in Thailand, they're trying to, there's a community for this monk. I think they have around 400 followers, 1,000 followers. So the 300,000 followers, right? So they're trying to bring this monk back again by feeding all his wording, his teaching, all his writing into the large language models. And when the followers trying to talk to the large language models, it looks like this monk is coming back and speak to the followers directly. The way he talks, the way the answer, the models give it back to the people. It's just like this monk has come back, right? So this is some of the project that, need a little creativities, but you need to understand the capabilities of large language models right now. And you can kind of tweak it a little bit based on whatever project that you like, because I'm pretty sure that at the end of the day, you guys will probably have to, do the project for the graduation, or you can, think about the startup doing together with your friends, right? And basically, large language model is the foundation nowadays because most of the application need to be able to interact with their own customer based on the language, right? We don't need the customer to, come to our application and, go through the complex scenarios and processes, right? We want them to, interact with our application just like we are talking to a human. Just like when I show you how I configure my models, right? Before you have to, tweak, turn on the knob and stuff like that. But nowadays you can just talk to the model and then the model understand what you're saying, and then it adjusts their capability and characters based on what you're saying, just like using your own language, human language, right? So this is something that I want to share during you guys are doing the workshop, right? All right, anybody finish the second workshop? No? Too tired already? You still have time, like 10 more minutes. If you cannot finish, that's fine. I'll go through the ideas again, and you can work on it later on because you have your own environment already, okay? Any questions so far about the workshop? No? Or you stopped doing that already? Who's still doing it? Okay. The professor is still doing it, right? Who else still doing it? Okay, all right. 2. Who's still doing the first workshop? Okay, all right. All right, let's try your best. We still have 10 more minutes, right? I'll go through the hints again, right? And then, like I said, you don't really have to finish it by this session. You can do it at home also. So basically, to be able to build a chatbot like that, later on, once you can do that, right, it doesn't have to be Telegram. You can, write your own application, chat application, or I don't know, you can interact with the WhatsApp API and then call back to the Model Studio, or you can use Line, or you can use, I don't know, whatever chatbot application like Messenger that allow you to be able to integrate with something else, right? This one will work also, right? So the hint is for the step 1, you go to the Telegram, you want to create a bot. There's a tool called BotFather. Just type @BotFather in the search and then send the message, and then the BotFather will start kicking up, asking you to giving it an information like name, username and stuff like that, and then it will give you back the API token, which you will need to use inside your code to be able to interact with the Telegram from your application, right? The second step is, this is similar to what you did already in workshop 1. So you just go to the Model Studio, generate the API key. You don't need to do that anymore. You can use the same API key, right? Then this is the additional stuff that you have to do is you have to install the package called Python Telegram bot for the dash scope, because this one is gonna give you, an easy way to access the Telegram from your Python code, right? Then for your code, hint number 1, you don't need to write your code by yourself. You can talk to Quen and help you ask Quen to help you writing the code, right? And then hint number 2 for this one, you can refer to Quen API doc. I can guarantee that all the information that you need is in this section, right? And then you'll be able to kickstart your application, just like what I show you, and then you'll be able to interact with the models, right? Okay, while you're doing the workshop, let's talk about the model selection. This is going to be the last part I want to talk today, because I'm pretty sure that you guys also have that question in mind. Like, you have a lot of models, you have a lot of version, you have a lot of types of the models. Which one should I use, right? So when it comes to the model selection, normally you choose the models to use based on the use cases, right? So if you take a look at the model name convention, right? The first part is going to be the name of the model directly, right? Itself, which is we have Quen, we have Llama, we have some other models, right? And then the second part is normally it's going to follow with the number. These numbers are version of the models. For example, like Quen, we have version 2, version 1.5, 2, 2.5, 3, right? The higher number, the higher number is the newer version you can get from that models, right? And then the last part is the size of the parameters that the models learn from, right? Which means that the higher number means this model is have a bigger brain, right? So basically we, like I said at the very beginning, right? It's not right or wrong to choose the model to use. For example, you can use, you can choose a very big size of the models and do small tasks. Of course you can do that, but there's a trade-off. Like, just like you are driving a supercar from your dorm to the university. Do you need that? Of course you can do it, right? If you have enough money and effort, but you're gonna waste a lot of things. For example, like gas, I don't know, a lot of money that you can use it something else for the investment and stuff like that, right? So basically, when it comes to the model selection, try to think about your use case first. For example, like if you go for local deployment for testing and research, you don't need to go for the bigger size of the models, which means that smaller size will require less resources to host your models. So you pay less for sure, right? But if you have like a very high complex requirements or the projects, you need a bigger size of the models, because if you compare the result between the smaller size of the models and the bigger size, of course, if you are doing like scientific paper writing, the bigger models will be able to give you a better result for that, right? For example, now it's not like you are driving from your dormitory to the university. If you are doing racing in the track, now your supercar might, might be suitable for you to use, right? You're not gonna drive your, Honda or Toyota, to rest in the track, right? You can do it, but you're not gonna get a good result, right? You're gonna lose anyway, right? And people will, go to the finish line with the good timer before compared to yours, right? And this is the last page that I want to talk about. Basically, for the commercialize in Model Studio, we have Quen Max, Quen Plus, Quen Turbo, right? Just to easily understand about that is, think about a shirt size. So Max is XL size, let's say L size, large size. The Plus is the M size, and then the Turbo is the S size, right? So basically, it's just the sizing for the models, right? So if you want to go to, if you have like a small application, just go for the S size. As you can see that, the cost is much more cheaper compared to this one, right? And you get a little better latencies, which means that it will return the, the answer faster compared to the big brain, right? The big brain tend to think a lot, right? The small brain, think very fast, think faster, because not a lot of information to process, and is suitable for some small tasks, right? So yeah, this is what I want to talk about today. I hope you guys enjoyed the session. At least you get, to do the hands-on and understand about Model Studio and AI Stack from Alibaba Cloud a little bit more. Hopefully you can use this knowledge to, developing your own ideas and projects related to the AI part. We always here to support you guys. If you have any, question later on, or if you have any ideas, you can talk to your professor. If you really need help from Alibaba Cloud, we're always here, and we can always come to talk to you about, the new stuff that we released and launched for everybody to use. All right. So on behalf of Alibaba Cloud, I would like to thank you guys so much. I'll be opening for the question later on. If you guys have any question, and I hope you guys enjoy the session, and have a great day. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much for Mr. Papon for your great explanation for this seminar. To conclude, today's seminar highlighted that artificial intelligence innovation is not just about trend, but powerful opportunity in education. By understanding how to use AI, crafting effective prompts, and configuring it properly, we can create more efficient, personalized, and impactful learning experience. Let's embrace technology wisely to shape a better future of education. Okay, thank you very much. Maybe Pak Ari. Maybe from al-Azhar Indonesia University have a little gift for Alibaba for you, especially. Okay.
I hope it's not a homework for me.
No.
I'm just kidding.
Okay, maybe for very last minute, any question from you guys? Masih ada pertanyaan nggak? Oh ya, iya tahu ada hadiahnya soalnya. Masih ada 2. Ayo guys.
So your
Okay.
account that you opened today, there are a lot of free stuff that you can try it on, right? Trying to, don't waste your time on that. I mean, in terms of, you have one free tier for 1 year. If you think about something that you want to try it on, go ahead, try it in Alibaba Cloud console, right?
Oh ya, sambil nunggu apa Pak? Oh, mau tanya? Siapa? Siapa? Oh enggak. Oh oke. Okay. One question please, Mr. Popon. Oh ya. Yeah. Oke. Okay.
So my question, there are lots of model that you already present to us. So what kind of technology will Alibaba pursue maybe in the next 5 to 10 years? Another breakthrough maybe?
So your question is, what are we going forward to in terms of the technology from Alibaba Cloud?
In context of AI.
Oh, so basically we see the importance of the AI technology nowadays. We know that it's going to be not just the future technology, but it's going to be the foundation for everybody. Because you guys are start seeing that right now already, right? That everybody can easily access the AI capability nowadays, right? So Alibaba Cloud, our goal is, of course, we are investing a lot in the AI technology, starting from the very lowest layer, from the infrastructure level, up to the solution that is ready for the customer to grab and use, right? For example, like Model Studio is a pretty, easy to use solution if you are, an AI engineer, right? Of course, we have our own large language models. We also have some other multi-purpose models that we are also developing. And of course, we are building, our goal is to build a full cycle of ecosystem to support your AI projects. So this is what we are moving forward to, right? In the future, I'm not so sure, but we also have our own research institution back in headquarters in Hangzhou and in Beijing, doing the studying about the trend of the AI, and also, of course, we are, building our own AI products in the future also. But I cannot tell you right now what is going to be next product. Yeah.
So maybe last question, will there be more workshop like this?
Oh, you have to ask your professor. I can always come anytime. Yeah. If you want, you can request it to your professors. We can, normally when I come to the university, some other university, right? For the first time we come like this, but then if you think, our session is going to be useful for your students, we can plan like, a whole year session based on quarterly. For example, like this quarter is going to be security theme. Next quarter is going to be big data theme. And then another quarter will be, I don't know, AI theme, right? So we can, try to plan like that. And hopefully, if you guys are really interested in this kind of thing, we can, set a proper session. Everybody can have, their own environment to play around, a clear instruction better than this, because today is just the introduction of our session. Of course, we can also do that. It depends on the professor. Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, because I'm from academy team anyway, so my goal is I would like to educate more and more people to be able to understand in terms of how to use cloud technology and AI. Yep. All right. Thank you. Thank you for the question. Any other question? He already got a gift. Yeah. He he asked a lot of questions. That's great. Or you can get a gift and then you can pass it to your best friend. All right. One last question, maybe? Yeah. You are doing like hand signal, like. Oh, okay, sure, yeah. You mean the philosophy of Alibaba Cloud? You mean Alibaba, right? Oh, it's a long story though. You guys want to listen? So yeah, so basically, our company founded in 1999, which is almost 30 years ago, right? Close to 30 years. You guys know Jack Ma, right? But at that time, he wasn't the only one who founded the company. We also have, some other founders, right? Who still, in the industry also, some of them, already retired and doing some investment already. And I think at that time, Jack Ma has an idea to do B2B business to business commerce in China, because he knows that, at that time when you want to buy something, you have to wait for the shop to open, and it takes a lot of time to deliver. It's not really convenient for the people to buy and sell stuff, right? So that was a story behind the scene that he wants to, build up his empire. I call that empire right now because we have a lot of businesses, right? But the name Alibaba Cloud, no, not Alibaba Cloud, Alibaba comes from his idea when he was sitting in the restaurant in US, I believe, maybe in California or some other stages, I don't know. And then he was thinking about, the bedtime story from Arabic, right? Alibaba, right? That word pops up into his head. And then his goal was like, he needs a name for his company that everybody can remember. Just like Apple, it's a very common name, but every time when you say Apple, most of the people doesn't think about, the apple like a fruit, but it thinks about the products, right? When you also say, a common name like Alibaba, he needs something that people can remember. It's very common word for everybody in the world. So he wrote that word in the paper and sent it to the waitress in the restaurant and asked the waitress that, do you know what this word is? And the waitress said, yeah, this is a bedtime story from Arab or something. And then he finally decided, okay, I'm going to use this name for my company because everybody already have the perception of this word. I just have to build the brand for that word. And when we say Alibaba, everybody would think about my business together with the bedtime story, right? So that is a very powerful mindset of, Jack Ma at that time. Yeah, and easy to remember. Yeah, you're welcome. All right. I hope I answered your question. All right. All right, thank you so much, guys. Hopefully you have fun and try to finish all the workshops.
Hello everyone. Bahasa Indonesia aja kali ya. Hi guys. Nama aku Alia. Aku account manager dari Alibaba Cloud untuk education sector. Di sini sebenarnya aku cuma mau nyampein untuk registrasi akun karena tadi katanya ada beberapa masalah ya saat registrasi akun. Ada yang berhasil? Ada berhasil apa? Berhasil. Masukin payment ya? Oke. Jadi nanti saat registrasi itu bisa masuk lewat Alibaba Cloud Academy. Registrasinya pakai email kampus ya. Nah, nanti akan ada verifikasi student ID juga di situ. Nanti itu untuk kedepannya jadi nggak perlu pakai payment method gitu. Tapi kalau misalnya mau untuk jalur reguler juga bisa juga. Paling ya tadi ada payment method itu akan tercharge $1 tapi akan kembali lagi. Itu hanya untuk validasi aja. $1 akan balik lagi ke akun kalian. Itu aja sih. Aku mau bahas terkait akun. Nextnya, jadi kalian bisa enjoy free trial di akun Alibaba Cloud. Ada banyak di situ. Ada dari mulai VM, database, AI, Quen. Kalau nggak salah untuk Quen ini ada 1 juta token free yang bisa kalian pakai per akun. Ya, jadi kalian bisa, I don't know, doing some projects, do something, I don't know, whatever ya. Karena ya mungkin boleh spoiler. Oke, karena mungkin setelah next month ya Pak ya, kita akan ada signing MOU. Next month ya Pak ya? Ya. Jadi mungkin Alibaba Cloud sama Universitas al-azhar Indonesia mungkin next month juga kita insya Allah akan mengadakan MOU. Jadi kedepannya kita akan kerjasama. Jadi mungkin tadi ada pertanyaan apakah akan ada terus seperti ini? Sepertinya akan seperti ada. Jadi kalau kalian ngelihat aku terus-terusan jangan muak ya. Gitu. Gitu aja sih. Makasih.
Okay, next agendas. Pak Denny langsung aja ya. Ya langsung aja. Okay, we from Universitas Al-Azhar Indonesia will give a little gift for Alibaba. Please, Pak Denny, your stage. Oke, thank you for Mr. Papons, Alibaba, Kak dari delegasinya, Kak Alia, oke. Dan teman-teman semua untuk before we close, we take the photo together, maybe, Mr. Papon? Okay. Okay, maybe you can just like di sini langsung kali ya Pak ya. Oke, teman-teman bisa merapat ya. Yes. Maybe sit here with Kak Alia, ya. Yes, please. Ayo Kak. Di mana Pak? Boleh deh. Sebentar Mas. Mungkin boleh kayak gini. Gimana Kak? Okay, thank you very much. See you next time.
Ya nggak ada ya kan nggak sepupu.
Yeah, up to you, up to you. Just motivation.